Are you listening?
You know, when we finished up the Google Stadia review, we discussed how locally it had the potential to replace my PlayStation 4. However, outside of its perfect environment, the platform still has room for improvement. That being said, I don't think I could have predicted what I discovered next, because Google Stadia not only is capable of replacing my PlayStation 4, it outperforms it. A couple months ago, Division 2 was announced for Stadia, and I was excited to jump back into this game. You know, I originally started it on PlayStation 4, however, due to other commitments, the game was quickly added to my ever-growing pile of backlogged games. Yet, with all of the craziness going on right now, I've really had some time to jump into that backlog. So I started playing Division 2 on Stadia and immediately noticed a difference. A big difference. Probably the biggest complaint that I had while playing Division 2 on PlayStation was its long load times. However, when I booted up the game on Stadia, it started in 10 seconds. So this made me go back and check on the PlayStation, and I was blown away. It took 1 minute and 30 seconds. Going from the start menu to where you design your own character, Stadia accomplished that in 10 seconds. And when you compare them side by side, by the time PlayStation is done loading, I'm already pretty deep into the campaign. So this got me wondering, does this affect any other aspects of the game? And the one I was most interested in was fast travel. And once again, Google Stadia was able to outperform PlayStation. In 8 seconds, Stadia was able to transport me from one end of the map to the other, whereas my PlayStation 4 took 56 seconds. That's 48 seconds longer. And to be clear, this is fast traveling from the exact same starting point to the White House base of operations. So then my mind immediately starts breaking down scenarios, and I wondered, if I shut the game off completely and return to the game, how long would it take for Stadia and PlayStation to return me to where I left off? And honestly, this was the most shocking comparison out of all three of these. Google Stadia was able to return me to my game after a hard reset in 14 seconds, whereas my PlayStation 4 took 2 minutes and 21 seconds. That's 2 minutes and 7 seconds longer than Google Stadia, which honestly is still kind of a hard concept for me to wrap my head around. Like, what does this mean for the future of games? How have I been okay with waiting this long for video games to load in the past? And why isn't Stadia advertising the literal hell out of this feature? And clearly, the obvious reason for the massive difference in load times is Stadia's far superior hardware. The PlayStation 4, for example, has an AMD Jaguar 8-core processor, an AMD Radeon GPU with 1.84 teraflops in processing power, and 8 gigabytes in GDDR5 RAM. Whereas Google Stadia, on the other hand, has a custom x86 hyper-threaded AVX2 processor, a custom AMD GPU with 10.7 teraflops in processing power, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. What I find fascinating about that is a PlayStation 4, I think, is like roughly $275, whereas Google Stadia is right now going for $129. And if we're being 100% transparent, you don't even need that. You can buy the controller for $69 and play all of it. Let that sink in. A next-gen console that far supersedes a $300 PlayStation 4 can be yours for $69. Google Stadia is not only extremely affordable, but it's beating its competition without even trying. In my eyes, if Stadia can answer the current drought of content and create a first-party lineup like PlayStation, with this power and price, Google Stadia could easily dominate the world of gaming forever.